The first time I stepped onto the campus of Blackwood University, I felt something strange stir in the air, as though the ground itself carried a whisper, a sigh that was centuries old. The university was ancient, with its Gothic stone towers, ivy-clad walls, and hollow courtyards echoing with footsteps that seemed not only ours but from another time. I had always believed universities to be places of ambition, intellect, and discovery. But here, a shadow hung heavier than books and knowledge. It was not a shadow made of night, but of curses, whispered stories that seemed to stretch endlessly, passed down from one class to another, never truly dying. Students at Blackwood often joked about the legends. They laughed about the library ghost, the statue that turned its head, or the sudden chill in the lecture halls during late hours. But beneath the laughter was unease, a shared secret no one truly wanted to confront. Curses at Blackwood never ended. They lingered, spread, and reshaped themselves, always finding a way to keep feeding. When I arrived as a freshman, I was naive. I brushed off warnings, thinking them campus folklore designed to entertain nervous students. But within weeks, I noticed how strangely time seemed to work here. My roommate, Claire, spoke in hushed tones about the third bell curse, how those who heard a bell ring 3 times after midnight, when no bell tower was active, would vanish by dawn. She said her cousin, who had studied here 5 years ago, had gone missing after telling her she heard the bells. I laughed nervously, told her it was silly, yet that night I lay awake listening. Around 1 a.m, as the campus quieted into eerie stillness, a faint ringing drifted through the window. 1, 2, and before the third could echo, Claire sat upright, shaking her head, whispering, "Don't listen." Her face was pale, her hands trembling. I never asked how she knew it would come. Days turned into weeks, and the unease grew. Students disappeared. Some left notes claiming they were transferring, others vanished without a word. Professors ignored questions. Security simply said they must have left campus. Yet their dorm rooms often remained untouched, clothes still folded, books still open. It was as if the university swallowed them whole. Then came the legend of the mirror in Hawthorne Hall. I stumbled across it while working on a paper late at night. Hawthorne was the oldest building, with cracked marble steps and portraits of professors with stern eyes. I passed the long corridor, and there it stood, an enormous mirror with a blackened wooden frame carved with strange symbols. They said if you stood before it at exactly 3:03 a.m., the reflection would no longer be your own, but someone else's, the person destined to die next on campus. I wasn't foolish enough to test it, but Claire's curiosity consumed her. One night, she confessed she planned to go. I begged her not to, but she laughed it off, saying she wanted proof. That night, she left the dorm at 2:50. I couldn't sleep, pacing, praying she'd return quickly. At 3:10, I heard the door creak open. Claire stepped in, her face pale, her eyes wide and glassy. She whispered, "It wasn't me." I asked what she meant, but she only curled up on her bed, trembling violently. Days later, she was gone. Her side of the room untouched. On her desk, a scrap of paper with one sentence, "It was your face I saw." I began to unravel after that. Every hallway, every classroom, every old staircase carried a weight. Students started avoiding me, whispering when I passed. Perhaps they sensed the curse clinging to me. I tried to bury myself in books, researching the university's history. What I found terrified me more than any rumor. Blackwood University had been built on the grounds of an abandoned monastery, one that had been shut down in the 1600s for practicing forbidden rituals. Monks had been accused of summoning spirits under the guise of prayers, sealing them within stone walls to gain knowledge and power. Executed publicly, they cursed the land with their dying breaths, vowing no student of knowledge here would escape their grasp. Every century, disappearances, deaths, and unexplainable tragedies marked the cycle. What chilled me most were the university records. They never once admitted to the vanishings. Instead, files of missing students were locked away in restricted archives. Names erased from enrollment lists, as though they had never existed. It wasn't a series of random tragedies. It was systematic erasure, a curse woven into the foundation of the institution itself. And it didn't stop there. In the dining hall, whispers spread about food turning sour suddenly, making students sick in waves. In the art building, a student had painted portraits that moved when you weren't looking, their mouths forming words no one dared repeat. In the music department, late-night practice rooms echoed with voices that weren't human. The curses weren't separate. They fed each other, tangled, and stretched into eternity. By my second year, I tried to transfer, but every attempt failed. Applications were lost. Transcripts misplaced. Calls never went through. I was trapped. Many of us were. That's when I met James, another student obsessed with uncovering the truth. He believed the only way to escape was to break the chain of curses, to confront the origin directly. He dragged me into nights of exploration, basements, tunnels, sealed-off classrooms. The deeper we went, the more the walls whispered. We finally discovered the catacombs beneath Hawthorne Hall. Candles burned, even though no one had been there for centuries. Strange markings covered the walls, and in the center stood a stone altar, cracked and stained. James believed if we destroyed it, we could end the cycle. But as he raised a hammer, a voice, not quite human, not quite earthly, echoed, "Knowledge is not free. Blood must pay." The hammer shattered in his hand. His scream rang through the chamber as shadows wrapped around him, pulling him into the stone itself. His face etched into the altar like one of the monk's carvings. I fled, running until my lungs burned, tears streaming down my face. I knew then, curses at Blackwood could not be broken. They only consumed. Now I write this with trembling hands, aware that my time is short. The mirror has already shown my reflection twice this week at 3:03 a.m. The third time will seal my fate. Claire was right, it was me all along. The curse goes on, binding itself to anyone who dares seek knowledge within these walls. And when I vanish, no one will remember me. My name will be erased, my room cleared, my existence rewritten into silence. But if this record remains, let it be a warning. Universities built on shadows will never free you. Some curses are not meant to be broken. They only wait for the next student, eager to go on and on and on.